Having a good understanding of skin and then being able to communicate to our clients about the health of their skin is essential to achieve the optimum results for our clients. So let's take this complex subject and simplify it. Skin is an organ, as we know. Not only is it an organ, it's a two-sided organ. Because it is two-sided, whatever is happening internally is going to reflect on the outside, making it an incredible diagnostic tool. Many times we are able to monitor our own health by the color of the skin, the temperature of the skin, the texture of the skin. Of course, we're never going to diagnose for our clients, but we should always be closely observing and being aware of any changes and letting our clients know if we see something that looks suspicious. Secondly, skin is uninterrupted. So it's the largest uninterrupted organ of the body, meaning there is no beginning, there is no ending. It wraps everywhere around us. So the idea that we need to use so many different products, let's just say in cleansing, doesn't really make sense from the anatomical standpoint. Almost always, our clients are going to use separate cleansers. And we'll take, for an example, they're going to use a shampoo for the hair, something more expensive for the face, and here down either a bar of soap, a shower gel. We have so many different things out there, so many different brands. We have men's line of skincare, women's, teen, and children, all the way to babies. So that has to do with marketing. As professionals, we must never lose sight that it wraps everywhere. So it's not necessary for the health of skin to use several different products, but most certainly that is the way that we sell our clients, market our clients, prescribe for our clients, and that is how our clients are trained to take care of their skin. Secondly, we have to remember that we have 2,800 openings per square inch of skin. That's a lot of openings. These openings come out of two forms. Number one are hair follicles. Number two are sweat glands, the sudoriferous glands. Let's think about or talk about the hair follicles. So we have millions of hairs all over the body coming out of tubes called follicles. Attached to that hair follicle is a muscle, our erector pili muscle, and that muscle is what gives us goosebumps. In between the hair follicle and the muscle, there are a cluster of oil glands. When the nerve stimulates the muscle, it presses the oil into the hair follicle, and that oil comes to the surface of our skin. That's what gives us our moisture. That's what allows us to move, to bend, why we don't crack. That's our natural moisture system. If that opening is plugged, where our own natural oil cannot come out, one of two things will happen. Either bacteria falls in there and we get a pimple, we get a blemish, or it backs up with so much oil that it overflows, it spills over. And that's where we can find the little oil deposits, the little whiteheads, the milia. All those are calcified oil. And the longer they stay in there, the harder they are to get out. Can we soften those? Can we remove them from the skin? We can. But the most important thing is not to have them even begin. So what we use on our client's skin, what our client uses on their skin is very important. So nothing that they use, nothing, of course, that we use can clog those pores. Oily skin, dry skin come from the combination skin, come from the hair follicles. And we have more oil in certain parts of the body, certain areas of the skin than others. And they're there for a reason. And an example of that would be even in the nose area, we have more oil glands. And we want to ask why. Why are there more oil glands? We definitely will experience more clogging of the pores, more blackheads in that area. So if we take a look at the anatomy of skin and understand the whys behind more oil being there, we can put this puzzle together. So first of all, because we breathe through our nose, through the nostrils, breathing air can be very dehydrating. So in our creation, more oil glands were there. Secondly, because it is an opening, and any opening in the body is going to have more oil glands there because things come out. Just imagine when we're not feeling well and blowing our nose. If we did not have that extra lubrication, our skin would just be raw. And sometimes that does happen where it becomes very irritated and very sensitive. Imagine not having those extra oil glands. Because the nose sticks out more from the face and we touch the nose a lot, we will find that more plugging, dirt, debris, blackheads occur on the nose area. So many times we're going to have, our clients are going to have more blackheads around there. Our job as professionals is to figure out our products that they're using clogging, our bad habits such as touching the nose, work environments, is that contributing to the blackheads? And enlarged pores, remember, the more you stretch skin, the larger it gets. So again, everything is on the body for a reason. We have no oil glands here, nor do we have them on the soles of our feet. And again, why is that? Because with oil comes hair, and with hair comes oil. And if we had that here, for an example, on the palms of our hands, everything we picked up, we would drop. So no oil glands are here to allow us to be able to grip, and also for our feet to be able to walk so we're not sliding. Everything on the body is there for a reason. Second opening is the sweat gland. And again, we have many, many sweat glands all over the body. The sweat gland is responsible for regulating our body temperature, keeping us at 98.6. We perspire 24 hours a day in the coldest of weather. We just don't see it. It evaporates. Okay, so it's constantly keeping us cool, keeping our body at that 98.6. When we are getting heated up, when the body is becoming too, when that level is rising, our temperature is rising, we may perspire more, where we feel a wetness on the skin. And this is our body's way of cooling us back down. So what can cause the body temperature to rise? A couple things, or a few things. Number one, exercise, exertion can create the body to heat up. And so we're going to feel more perspiration on the skin. Secondly, weather conditions, hot weather will cause the body to heat up, and quickly a signal goes off in our brain that says, uh-oh, we're getting too hot. And these sudoriferous glands kick in and they bring more perspiration and cool the body back down. Next, medications can cause us to perspire more, and most certainly illnesses can do that as well. We hear many times that if a child has a fever, we put them in a cool bath of water through the skin. Through the skin, all of these openings, we're able to cool the body back down. Or a cool cloth, if we have a fever, to put it on our forehead or on the back of our neck if we're getting too heated. Through the skin, we cool back down. So the sweat glands are incredible. We have no oil glands, as I mentioned here, but we have more sweat glands here to keep the skin supple. Otherwise, it would crack. So we have two of those openings. The combination of those two openings and what comes out of them, the oil and the perspiration, combine, and they create the pH balance of our skin. Skin is acid by nature, 4.5 to 5.5. And it's acid for a reason. There are three particular things you need to remember when it comes to the pH balance of our skin. First of all, this acid mantle lays on our skin. We neither see it nor feel it, and it is there because it's responsible for repelling bacteria. Bacteria surrounds us everywhere. And this acid mantle, as bacteria touches, it repels it off. So your products that you use on your client should have a balanced pH. There's truth to that. And even more importantly, the products that your clients use at home should have a balanced pH. Home care is just as important, if not more important, than what we do in the treatment room. It maintains everything that we do in the treatment room. So having a good understanding of pH balance, understanding why we have this, number one, and number two, to be sure that our products that we use and the products that our clients use have a balanced pH. Secondly, this pH balance is responsible for keeping the skin hard, for protection. Skin is not soft. It is supple. It is elastic. It is very versatile, but skin is hard by nature. Those hardened cells that move up, they convert again into that hardened protein called keratin. So it's the cells that move up every 4 to 5 days that convert into a hardened protein called keratin. And all of these hardened cells held together with our oil and our dirt becomes our weatherproofing. That's why nothing hurts us. Nothing can invade our body. So skin is hard, and 4.5 to 5.5 pH balance, acid, keeps the skin hard. And lastly, pH balance of 4.5 to 5.5 will keep the skin supple. It will keep it to where it needs to be to allow us to bend, to move, and not to dehydrate. The opposite of acid is alkaline. And alkaline, again, will be the opposite. So if acid repels bacteria, alkaline's going to attract it. If acid hardens, alkaline's going to soften it. And if acid holds moisture, alkaline's going to dry. So having a very good understanding of pH is essential to be able to meet the requirements of skin as an organ, and to most certainly meet the requirements of your client's skin wellness goals. As I mentioned, we have the layers of cells where they reproduce the life of the skin. And at that level, a cell is round, it's plump, it's full of moisture. A cell will reproduce to whatever it is. Like produces like. So if a cell is healthy, it's going to reproduce to healthy cells. If a cell is unhealthy, it's going to reproduce to unhealthy cells. Like will produce like. And that's why cancer, let's say, certain diseases are so dangerous and scary, because the cells multiply. So what's the goal? We want our cells to be as healthy as possible. All you and I are made up of are trillions of cells. And so understanding the cells at that cellular level, understanding how to keep the skin healthy at that cellular level, is also a key component to getting the results we're looking for. So these cells are round, they're plump, they're full of moisture. As I mentioned, they begin to move up to the surface of our skin. And when they reach a certain level, they convert into that hardened protein called keratin that I talked about. Understanding that skin, the structure of skin, is really no thicker than a sheet of paper. Here, where there is more fat pad, okay, that's there to protect our internal organs. The structure of skin, though, is still, again, no thicker than a sheet of paper. It's very thin. The fat pad that we have here in different areas of the body is there to protect our internal organs. It's there to protect other cells. But skin is very thin and very complex. It has layers and different cells and oil glands and sweat glands and arteries and veins, all working within. So the key is having a clear understanding of how the skin functions and what we can do as professionals to improve through these means. A cell lives and dies, as I said, every 4 to 5 days. That entire layer sheds every 28 days. Anywhere from 22 to 28 days, give or take. The body is on precision timing, very similar to a woman's menstrual cycle, every 28 to 30 days. Everything is meant to work together. When that timing mechanism is off is where we run into skin issues such as psoriasis, eczema. The average person, for an example, might be every 4 to 5 days those cells move up. For someone with eczema, theirs might be every 20 minutes. Those cells are moving up, moving up, moving up. And now there's a backup, right? And the skin begins to get irritated and inflamed. The timing mechanism in the cell reproduction is off. As professionals, can we improve this? Yes. Can we cause harm? Yes. We can by adding products that create a buildup on the skin. So the key is keep the openings clean and free from bacteria. And what openings am I talking about? Those millions of hair follicles, keep that oil moving through the hair follicles so our skin can be supple. No bacteria falling into those hair follicles, avoiding things like acne, blemishes, dry skin, oily skin, milia. Keep the sweat glands clean and free from bacteria as well, so our own natural heat regulator can work the way it's meant to work. And again, that pH balance be right. So what does skin require to keep it healthy? The third area that I want to talk briefly about is the blood supply. You cannot have healthy skin without a good blood supply. Blood is the key to healing anything in the body or on the body. The major arteries and veins are deep into the skin. And as these move up to the surface of the skin, these arteries and veins break off into little capillaries. Okay, these capillaries feed the cells, that cellular level I was talking about. These capillaries are where our blood comes to, and blood nourishes. Blood also takes away the toxin, the poison. So this capillary layer feeds where the life is, where those cells are reproducing to of whatever they are. Having a healthy blood supply, having healthy capillaries is essential to being able to heal skin, to be able to nourish skin. So we need to have a good understanding, again, of our clients' daily habits. Do they use abrasive products? Do they use scrubs? Sun damage? Those are things that can break the capillaries, can weaken the capillaries. And remember, the capillaries are the vehicle that we're going to heal skin. So blood flow is essential. It is essential to achieving the best results in that treatment room. And it is essential to continue maintaining healthy skin and healing skin. Many times, clients with acne, severe acne, will tend to have lower blood pressure. There's not enough blood flow there. Blood is what cleans skin out. And a very good example of how this organ works is if you take a hair follicle or take a blemish where it's infected, that comes from the hair follicle, right? And we see that blemish up on top, the top layer of skin. We see the infection. You'll take note that around the infection, around the white infected area, the blood flow will go there and it becomes red. It's always in a circle. And what happens is, once again, a signal goes off and says, oh, we're in trouble. We're in trouble because bacteria has invaded our body. And quickly, the nervous system tells the circulatory system to go more to the integumentary system, being skin, to that one hair follicle that is infected, to bring more blood flow there, encapsulate that blood flow so it can heal. So remember, blood is what heals, blood is what nourishes, and blood is what takes the toxin, the poison away. If a client has lower blood pressure, not good circulation, broken capillaries, weakened capillaries, high stress levels, we're going to have a hard time healing that acne because there's not enough blood flow being able to clean that infection out, because the infection is within the hair follicle. It is not at the top where we see it. It's further down. And that's why many times an antibiotic will be prescribed, because that antibiotic goes directly to the bloodstream, healing. We as professionals want to be sure that nothing that client is using is causing those openings to be plugged, to be clogged, where bacteria gets in there. As professionals, once again, we want to make sure that we keep bacteria off of the skin. And we do that by having products that have a balanced pH, 4.5 to 5.5. When we change the pH of skin, understand that we are doing a wrong, maybe sometimes trying to make a right, but it's not healthy for the skin. So what's the bottom line here? There are 4 things we want to take care of and be aware of when we're caring for our client's skin, and also communicating to our clients. Everything we're talking about today should be communicated to the client so they have a good understanding of why they have this wonderful organ, skin, what the value is, and how they can partner with you in achieving the healthy skin that they want. Skin has 4 requirements: proper cleansing, keep those openings clean and free from bacteria the best that we can. Number 2, keeping the muscles toned and blood flow moving. Nourishing the cell at that cellular level, nourishing those cells. And last is keeping the skin supple, keeping the skin moisturized. We're not going to be able to put moisture back into those oil glands, but we can help to support our own natural moisture system. Simply stated, skin requires proper cleansing, toning and stimulating, nourishment, and moisture. If we give this organ what it needs, it's going to respond. It's when we move away from what the organ needs, when we make it complex, that we can run into trouble with treating this organ. Skin is two-sided. The inside takes care of itself. This outer layer is completely dead, and it's dead to protect us from the world we live in. If we can topically duplicate what the body does internally, the results are incredible. And we're pretty much guaranteed that our client's skin is going to be at its optimum health. Meeting the requirements of the organ is the first place to start. The second place is being able to communicate this with our clients. Skin is the largest uninterrupted organ of the body. It is an incredible diagnostic tool, and it does everything it can to keep us alive every second, every minute of our day throughout our lifetime.